What's up, guys? Alpine Grumman again here, and today I'm going to show you guys how to be effective in your lower tier vehicles as you're grinding up your lines. Now, this video, I got this idea because of an awesome game I had last night in this little thing, the T-34-85 Tier 6 Soviet medium tank, and I never actually thought of doing a video featuring it, but I guess it's about time. I ground this out as I was obviously going down the Soviet medium lines, and I remember what a great tank it is. Now, the reason I've been starting to play it again is because my usual platoon mate Volker Ball has recently acquired an IS-6. Now, IS-6 is a Tier 8 premium Soviet heavy tank that gets preferential matchmaking, which means that it does not see tanks more than a tier higher than it. So its average game is a tier 8 game, tier 8 heavy tank, mostly because of this 122 millimeter. Doesn't have the best penetration, even with premium rounds. It only has 217 millimeters of pen. At tier 8, that's more than enough, but Volker doesn't use premium ammo for the most part on this tank. Him and Z both have their IS-6s, and I don't have any tier 8 tanks that get preferential matchmaking. All of my tier 8 premiums, like my Lova, this gets into tier 10 battles. My Jagdpanzer gets into tier 10 battles. So all my tier 8s, my T-34 gets into tier 10 battles. So all of my premium tanks and tier 8s to go with them really do not fit in because they will be getting into tier 10 battles. And I thought, okay, let me use my T-29. Well, it turns out that the IS-6s move too fast, and Volker and Z would just go and decimate a flank before I could even get there, and I couldn't do much because the T-29 can't keep pace. So I figured, you know what, whatever. I'll grab my T-34-85. Sure, I'll see tier 8s all the time, but I don't care because this tank is quite the little beast. I have a pretty decent crew for a tier 6 tank, all trained in repairs. Commander has 6th sense, and they're training in camo because I do like to use this thing as a passive scout in high tier games. 85 millimeter, the top 85 gets 144 millimeters of pen, which is enough to get through most tanks at tier 8. With the exception of the heavily armored Russian heavies. 180 average damage is not bad. 0.37 accuracy could be better. It has a relatively long aiming time of 2.3, which compared to its brethren, like T-62A and 140, that take a very short time to aim, 2.1 as compared to 2.3. It is a bit of a difference, and you will notice it. You have to sit out there for a lot longer. Now, part of playing in this tank in a low tier and a higher tier battle is you have to learn to adapt to your playstyle. Now, for those of you that are the more analytical individuals out there that watch my videos, should probably have noticed in my gameplay that I am a very aggressive player. I like to take the fight to the enemy, and I like to fight them on my terms, and the Soviet medium tanks allow me to do that very well. However, that doesn't mean that I can't adapt my playstyle and be passive if I have to. Sometimes I get into trouble when I'm driving my medium tanks because I get too aggressive, and sometimes I get killed. But if I don't, I have no trouble adapting my playstyle and ending up doing a fairly decent job. Now, when you're in a high tier battle in something like the T-34-85, you can't be aggressive because you just don't have the armor or the gun to really do that. You have to be a lot more passive. And so when people complain about not being top tier, well, doing well in top tier battles is not that difficult as long as you just play smart and play passive. If you try to go apeshit in a high tier battle, then you're not gonna have much success. But anyway, before we look at the gameplay, I'm just gonna show you guys my loadout for this tank. So obviously we went over my crew skills, but I use improved vents, a camouflage net for spotting, and medium caliber tank gun rammer to get that reload speed even down even more. I've got about a 5.06 second reload on this gun, which is actually faster rate of fire than the T-62A and 140. Now, as for my ammo loadout, I have 35 AP rounds with 5 APCR premium rounds. Now, the reason I have premium rounds on this tank is because this was back when I was doing Clan Wars. This was my Tier 6 Clan Wars vehicle, and I had it set up for Clan Wars, so I had plenty of premium rounds left over, so I figured I'll take 5 of them in case I come up against like a KB Fortress or something. And in which case this gun cannot really penetrate the side armor, so I'll switch to premium rounds. This is one of the only this and the T-29 are the only tanks I really use my premium ammo in, and I don't know why, but I don't really need it on my other tanks. Whatever, I'm weird, I guess. And 8 rounds of HE for cap resets. Small repair and first aid kit and a manual fire extinguisher, and that is my pub match loadout for the T-34-85. So let's check out some gameplay. Alright, so here we are on Westfield, and as is to be expected, platooning with 2 IS-6s, I've gotten myself into a thoroughly Tier 8 game. There are some Tier 7s and only a few Tier 6s per side. We're on Westfield doing a standard battle. Now I'm going to do the normal medium tank thing since I started down here in the valley. I'm going to take up my normal position as I do in my Tier 10s and 9s. I'm going to come up to this position here, and I'm going to just go ahead and spot and see what this Stuart can find for me. So battle starts. Let's go. Now remember, even when I'm in my Tier 10s, playing aggressively on this map in your medium is not the best choice, as you see a lot of people like to rush down this valley and they get melted very quickly. So the most effective way to play this side of the map, even when you're top tier, is to let your scouts do the work, let them spot so that you could take out targets without possibly exposing yourself. Now I do really like this bush position here. It's a very good camo spot. I'm gonna let my camo net deploy right here. My camo net's up. I should get premium camo on this as well, just to increase it even more. So I'm waiting there, spotting whatever I can. AMX 5100 on our team has already taken out their M26 Pershing. And I notice on the map, here comes Power Donkey number 1. Now at this range, there's no way I'm going to penetrate the frontal armor of a T-34. With premium rounds, yes, not with regular armor piercing. However, based on the direction he's taking, I can only assume that he's coming down the hill. Now our scout just got nailed, so I'm going to put one shot into that Stuart, but it misses. Going to let it reload and take a blind shot. That looked like it went true. But here comes the T-34 down on my flank. I take one more shot, but here comes Power Donkey number 1 in his T-34. Now my gun has plenty of pen to get through his side armor, so I'm just going to back up, and I'm going to pound his side. And he lights up. And there's a T-34 destroyed. Now I'm going to let my camo come back. I'm going to move so I don't get hit by anybody, and I'm going to get into cover, and I'm going to go back to my bush. So there's the T-34 is destroyed. Now the T-20 is going out there to spot. Now I'm trying to get a good shot on the T-32, but there is nothing, so I'm going to retreat back again and get to a place where I can retreat more effectively. Now notice that they do have some good they have some good muscle here. We don't have any good Tier 8 medium tanks on our team. They have a T-44, which could do a lot of damage on here. I can't penetrate the T-44 from the front because of his sloping, but if I get onto his side or rear, then I can just have my way with him. Now I'm moving up a little bit and being a little bit aggressive here, but I get spotted, and you can see the shots start hitting around me, so I'm juking some of these shots. I took a bounce from the T-44, And so I'm saying, screw this. I'm going to gain some momentum so I'm harder to hit going down this hill. And I'm going to retreat back into the cover of the forest. Now there's some more targets. They've spotted that T-20. So I'm going to get some supporting fire on these targets here. There's a T-25-2. He disappears. So I'm going to move up a little bit so I can get a better shot on these enemies. There's the T-44 coming down the road now. So now we're in a little bit of trouble. Now here's the Type 58. I'm going to put some shots into him. Help out my T-20 down there. Now the enemies are opening fire on me. But really the only person that can hit me is that Stewart. Now that Stewart is a freaking champ. Doing the best he can. I took out the Type 58. But that Stewart really can't do a whole lot to me. His gun is not that damaging, but he is invisi-tanking me. So kudos to him for taking up a very effective position. So I'm backing up, losing my camo. There's a T-25-2. Gonna put one into him. Take him out. And there's the T-44 power donking after the Comet. There's power donkey number 2. So I'm gonna keep putting shots into this T-44 side because he's giving them to me. I'm waiting for the Comet. I got relit, so I can assume that Stewart is going to be firing on me at any second. There he is. And that Stewart was just nomming away at my ass right here. But I don't care because I want to kill this T-44. So there's a T-44. Put another shot into him. T-34 puts a shot into him, and then I get the kill. We're up to 4 kills, 1,867 damage in this Tier 8 battle. As you can see, Volker and Z just cleaned up on the other flank. And so now we're just coming to finish it up. So I know that Super Pershing is down there on the hill. There he is. So now I'm going to move in for the kill while he is battling it out with the T-34. So there's a Super Persh. Get right alongside him. T-34 rams him. And I take him out for the kill. Now you realize how I've been playing. I've been waiting for the enemies. I've been putting myself in positions where I am not the focus of attention. I'm letting my team that can actually take the hits and battle it out. They're the ones that make contact, and I come in and clean up. And that's how you got to play it when you're at the bottom of the pecking order. You kind of gotta position yourself smartly, and you gotta take advantage of when the enemies are not paying attention to you. You do not want to be the center of attention. Now I've got 5 kills. 6 kills would be a top gun, and a top gun from a tier 6 tank in a tier 8 battle would be fantastic. And Volker and Z want to get me that tier 6. Want to get me that last kill on the E2 Sherman. So I loaded APCR because I want to make sure I get these pending shots in, because I want this top gun. So you can see I do have the premium rounds loaded. So Volker spots him. I fire but miss. So Volker tries to keep him from leaving, but he tries to retreat down the hill. Put one right into his engine compartment and light him on fire for the kill. And that's a top gun. So gents, that is how to be effective at the bottom at the bottom of the food chain. You got to make sure that you got to play passively, and you got to take opportunities when they present themselves. If you just rush in there and try to do damage, you're going to get wasted. The point is to not be the center of attention. And if you can just work around your team and get in the kills and get in the damage when you can and position yourself intelligently, you can do pretty well. At the end of the game, let's take a look at the post-game stats now. Alright, so here's the after-action report. You can see that we did quite well for ourselves in that Tier 6 battle. I mean, the Tier 8 battle, my bad. We ended up getting top experience, 1,342 base experience. We got 6 kills, so that added us a Top Gun medal, and we got top damage in a Tier 8 game in a Tier 6 machine, 2,666 damage done. We could see that we got a Top Gun, and we also got the Oskin's Hero Award, where you have to kill 3 or more enemy tanks that are at least 2 tiers higher than you. So those being the T-34, the Super Pershing, and the T-44, which I dispatched throughout the battle. You can see we fired 18 shots for 14 direct hits and 14 penetrations. We've received 8 hits, 5 of them penetrated, and 3 of them were non-penetrations. And the penetration also means, it hit the track or, stuff like that. So we actually got a little bit more, we took a little bit more potential damage than our total HP pool, so that's good. And we destroyed 6 enemies, obviously, damaged 7. We only got like 569 damage on spot, but we honestly, didn't do much of the scouting in that game. We were doing most of the damage. So anyway, guys, that's how you got to be effective in your low-tier vehicles when you're at the bottom of the list. You got to be passive. You got to chill out. You can't power donkey. If you do, you're going to get melted. You got to pick your moments, and you've got to get yourself into positions where you can get the drop on enemies, because you will not win toe-to-toe engagements with high-tier vehicles in your low-tier tanks in most cases. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.